We're back in Denver, Colorado, actually here on the 16th Street Mall, which as you can see is mostly a pedestrian mall, but some traffic does come through. In fact, there's regularly scheduled hybrid electric alternative fuel powered buses that ply back and forth here in the core of Colorado's capital. Denver's made a multi-billion-dollar investment in improving its transportation infrastructure as well as public transit, not just here in the core, but really to better connect all of Metro Denver. And this was high on the priority list when the Allegheny Conference considered which city in the country to come benchmark. We clearly have a very politically fragmented system back in the Pittsburgh region. They seem to be setting a pretty high bar here when it comes to regional cooperation.
Yeah, it's impressive, and it's the thing that stood out most with me. You know, it's not a political agenda, it's a community agenda. And there is a big difference there, and it's one that that requires cooperation, it requires compromise, it requires really truly a bipartisan effort. It's not about a particular party leadership, it's about what's best for the community, what's best for the region, what's best for the state. And that's part of both the challenge and the opportunity that I think we have in the southwestern Pennsylvania, but in Pennsylvania as a whole, because we are competing with Denver and Colorado. We are competing with North Carolina and South Carolina and Wisconsin and Ohio, et cetera. So the approaches perhaps that have worked well for our region in the past may not necessarily work well in the future.
Perhaps the most ambitious transportation investment is right here in the heart of downtown Denver at the historic Union Station. Yes, it's still the train station for passenger service, but now it's multimodal with bus service here at the station and light rail on the way. Someday you'll be able to take the train from here in downtown Denver all the way out to Denver International Airport, about 25 miles away.
This city is growing so much faster, I think, than other Western cities. And so this transportation infrastructure was so needed. We carry about 400,000 people a day. We're building this infrastructure. I like to say that we are transforming a North American city through transportation infrastructure investment.
And describe the scale of what's going on all around us.
The scale of this project, first of all, we went to the voters and asked for 0.4% sales tax to build this transportation system. And so what it is 122 miles of commuter rail and light rail, 18 miles of bus rapid transit, 21,000 additional parking spaces, 57 new transit stations along those lines, and the redevelopment of a historic train station, which is where we are now. So the scale of this is massive. It's the largest voter-approved transit expansion program in this country, and it's at about $8 billion right now.
I wonder about trying to build a transit infrastructure in a sprawling western city. Is it a cultural adjustment to get people to buy into this new approach?
Yeah, I think you got to get, whatever your own values are around it, you got to let it go. Whether you're selling it because somebody's going to ride it, or you're selling it because somebody's thinking, great, everybody else will ride it, I can still drive, is probably how we got our votes on that one. But a huge investment. I think it was the largest single investment in a transit system in the country. And in 2004, we knew it would define our future. It was like our DIA of the day. If you create an international airport and you're really successful, we knew it would put us on a world map. And frankly, I think investment in a transit system is what puts you on the workforce map.
Investment in public infrastructure for transportation is something that I think Pittsburgh should look at. It's expensive, but again, I think it bodes well for the next generation that's coming. It's going to be bigger than the boomers, and so I think that's something that I would focus on from a leadership perspective in Pittsburgh.
What's really impressed you about what they're doing here?
The transit story, I think, above all else. And maybe it's because we're just leaving the transit section now, but I would say the idea that the business community can come together and form private-public partnerships that really work, that it took many years to arrange it, but that they dreamed big and they got it done.
The delegation from the Pittsburgh region spent about 72 hours here in Denver, and they had a chance to compare notes with about 60 civic leaders. So what did they learn from all of that, and what are they going to be bringing home to our region? Well, we'll talk about that when our region's business continues. Stay with us.